Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Why, hello there. Welcome back. Back for more punishment.
Yes, absolutely. So now as we make the video, because I rushed out because something just feels weird, and the birds were going crazy for like a half hour, going crazy. And I just saw like a flock going off in one direction together, and they seemed really forensic, and they were like over here just dive bombing, and it was just weird. Now they've settled down. The other thing too is the weather changed. We didn't really have any rain in our forecast. Now we do, and it does feel ominous. And I was asking Cindy what she picks up on.
Something is coming. The tone of the birds, if you read the energy on those birds, they were talking about things. They were tattling. They were saying, hey, something's going on here. And they were really forceful about it. And it feels almost like they are pumping the air full of water. Like the humidity went up like 50 notches within an hour, half hour.
Yeah, and I did want to share, really the main thing I wanted to share was what came through from the guides, which was a reiteration basically of what we already know, but it's just that in the times to come, the most important thing is doing the mantras. Now, whether that's for us personally because we believe in mantras or whether in general, I do think mantras, and when I say that, I mean the Sanskrit mantras especially, because the language is different from English, and in fact, it is an older language. It's closer to the root language of all the Indo-European family tree of languages. So the frequencies hold more resonance, and I would strongly recommend for everybody, pretty much. Spiders are dive bombing us. It's really weird out here. It really is weird. It feels very odd. I would strongly recommend for everybody to deep dive into the Sanskrit mantras. Everybody that we've recommended that to, or just regular followers of this channel, or has just adopted the practice of doing the Sanskrit mantras, all of them have said this was a huge game changer for them.
It really is, and they can be a little bit intimidating at first, but you go slow, you take your time, you write it down on a cue card if you need to, and if you're on Heart's Own, we say them so that you kind of have an idea of how to say them, because what I've noticed, if you go to YouTube and listen to them, they're beautiful, the music is beautiful, but you can't really understand and make out what they're saying. It's just you have this really beautiful energy going on, and for me, it was more like, okay, I need some kind of rhythm. I need an example is what I needed. And Mike was very helpful in being an example for me, and just something intuitively said that, yes, this is right. So I'm going to go with that. So if you're on Heart's Own, you can hear us saying the mantras so you have an idea.
Absolutely. And it's something that just kind of grew in me over the years, and has become definitely my number one practice, is doing mantras. Now, when you do the mantras, scientific studies have shown that what you're going to be doing is activating the vagus nerve. So you are going to shift yourself into the rest and digest side of our ANS, our autonomic nervous system, and that's going to allow your body to heal just in and of itself. It's going to take you out of fight or flight, so it's going to shift you from cortisol production and all the stress hormones into serotonin, melatonin, and everything that's going to allow you to rejuvenate and rest. The mantras themselves, the sounds in the order that they're given, will literally unlock your chakras. Very, very powerful practice, cannot be understated. When we are starting our mantra practice again, we always start with Ganesha, because Ganesha is the root chakra, so that grounds and roots us, and then we go from there. And Cindy and I don't always do the exact same mantras. In fact, our usual practice is we both do Ganesh, we both do Lakshmi, and then we branch off from there in different directions, as it's a personal choice, and each to his own. It's whatever you're resonating with. And certain key times in my life, at certain points in time, when I'm feeling a particular need to change timelines, I'll do Om Namah Shivaya. If I really feel like there's a time to change timelines, like, I don't like the timeline that we're on right now, let's shift gears. Okay, then it would be Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Sharanam Ganesha. That's Ganesha's mantra. You could even just go Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha without the Sharanam Ganesha. I was just wondering if the birds are going to start up again. And that's going to help to ground and root, activate the root chakra. When I even do it once or twice now, I will feel my Kundalini flow. I'll feel a pump start to work in the base of my spine. And this is called the sacral pump. We understand this in Qigong practice. Initiating the sacral pump is what we start to do to get the prana flowing, the life force flowing. Again, the ether that is contained in our body in the form of chi, ki, prana, vril, however you want to call it, as Sita is pumping the fence.
Sorry.
No, it's not an earthquake yet. It's
just
not
Sita.
an earthquake yet. It's just earthquake, or we should say Hurricane Sita.
Yes.
Storm Sita.
Yes.
So yeah, it's going to activate what we call the sacral pump, which is in the sacrum. That activates the Kundalini flow, which goes up through the center of really what is your spinal column, flows up to the crown eventually, and it goes through all the chakras. All the chakras need to be open for that to flow efficiently. And so really, if you look at it, your Qigong practice and your mantras go hand in hand. And I don't think there's a better way to do things than combining the two. But the mantras will initiate, especially Ganesha's, that Kundalini flow. And if you are a Qigong practitioner out there and you're not using the mantras to literally be the kindling of your practice, then you're definitely missing out. Mantras are so strong, and they do actually literally call also in these beings who are very, very real beings. These are real beings. And, Ganesha is a real being. Does he really have an elephant head? I think that's how he wants to appear. I don't think that's really, again, how he has to appear. But let's say I think he's doing that on purpose for a deep meaning, deep hidden meaning, which, you can meditate on and discover yourself too.
You really want to be in it for the healing. You don't want to be in it to, Kundalini is nice and everything. It's wonderful, but it can really cause a lot of damage. So you don't want to go into this thinking that you're just going to get the Kundalini to flow, because most people have traumas, which means most people have blocks, which means when the Kundalini hits a block, there's going to be problems. And that could be a very physical problem. It could be an emotional problem. So you want to go in it with the idea that you are going to heal. So you will be ready when you raise up in vibration and you hit these blocks. You're going to be ready to deal with them if you're going in it with the idea to heal. When you do the right thing will happen. I'm a huge stickler with that Kundalini energy. I'm just really probably very type A about it because of my own experiences, but I also know it can be very dangerous. So you don't want to just go off and try to activate it. That's not the point of the mantras, but it is a side effect. So that's something that we all need to face and understand and have that reality. It's the healing part is what I like about the mantras, because like Mike said, it puts you in that rest state. And when you're in the rested state, your body is functioning optimal, and you might be a little bit sleepy, but guess what? You are healing. So just keep that in mind. When you do the right thing will happen.
Absolutely. And then these very real beings do send their energy to you, because you have to ask. It's free will, and they totally abide by free will. And each one has a unique energy to themselves. We both go to Lakshmi next. Om Shri As it's starting to
It's
rain
starting
here.
to rain. Om
Shoot.
Shri Mahalakshmi
Yeah.
Namaha. Do we go in and try to walk in?
Okay, it's stopping. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. And, that is Lakshmi, which I also view as initiating the sacral chakra, which is all about our passions, desires, and even just our drive to be in this world, really, when you think about it. Because at this point in time, there's a lot of people who can't wait to go to other realms because of all the chaos and everything. So Lakshmi can bring abundance in more ways than one. It's not just physical abundance, a nice house, etc., etc. It's emotional abundance, it's appreciation, and it's also bringing the wonder to everything in this realm. Again, this is a temporary experience, and it's relatively short. So again, it brings home the why. Why do we want to have this experience? And that desire to literally go through this and have that experience. So she is also, besides that, she is a portion of the mother energy, the mother goddess, of which there's ultimately one. And they're all together combined into this one divine feminine energy. She is the material universe itself. So we are within her greater body, so to speak.
And she's a very beautiful energy, giving you that desire and want and love of life. She's a really good one. And what I've noticed about her, she's really interesting, because those people that are on a business venture, who are working for themselves, or even if you're just kind of out doing something for yourself, I've noticed that Lakshmi, she brings quite a bit of that financial abundance, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with having financial abundance. I think it's just what we do with it. It's like what you do with it. Are you making yourself comfortable so that maybe other people can be comfortable, or are you helping others with it in some way, shape, or form, or is it just just take it all for yourself and let everybody else drown type of thing? That's kind of like what the mainstream does. But she does bring that abundance to people that we know that have businesses, and they'll do the Lakshmi mantra before they go and do whatever they do on their business, or and sell, and they do really good. So I mean, it's very heartening to see how she works in other people's lives. And she is the goddess of love as well, so maybe bringing in a partner where you needed a partner. That's something that's very difficult in these times, because it just really is, and I won't go over all the reasons. But she's a very beautiful soul. It's a beautiful energy to bring in and have around you. It's an energy that I don't see where you can go wrong with calling in Lakshmi at all. Now there are some other some other mothers that I'm very careful with, but we'll save that for another video.
The other thing I want to point out about when you call on any of the mother's energy, one of the side things that it'll do for you is connect you more to all the children of the mother, as I've always called them, meaning the animals, the birds, the fish, everything, all the rest of life that's out here that is in tune with Mother Nature, even if we're not. So I've noticed that when you do the mantras, the animals will act differently with you. They'll tend to trust you more. You'll tend to have things happen in a much more positive way, because you're aligning yourself with the energy of the planet in its natural state. This is just what we are doing, and we've been disconnected from that energy on purpose by the system. It's actually gotten us to fear that. It's also gotten us to fear, basically all the children of the mother, and there's really no reason for that. Why do you have these traumas and wild animal attacks sometimes occurring to certain people and not others? I do think it has to do with their resonance and the energy that they're giving off. There are people that you can't just approach any old dog, because many dogs will read certain people's energy and know this is a person to be avoided. I don't trust this person. They don't view me with respect, so they don't trust that. Now, If they come up to somebody that loves nature and respects the mother energy, just the opposite. They'll automatically see this person's not really a threat. They're in alignment with the mother, and they respect the mother's energy. So then they will treat you more like a sibling, and give you respect. So I wanted to just touch on this again. There's a complete mantra list on Heart's Home, because it felt like the guides were reiterating it, because maybe there is a storm that's quickly approaching us as we get raindrops coming down. It's both figurative and literal, and it is approaching us very quickly. So what do we do when things are real bad and tornadoes are developing near us? Bad storms, bad lightning storms and stuff, we always do our mantras. That's what we do.
Yep.
We just sit down and we just start doing mantras until it passes. And this would be the case with bombs falling around us. We would just be, doing our mantras. Some people will do whatever prayers they're used to or brought up with. To each of their own. The only thing I will say again about the Sanskrit mantras is that I do feel that this is something that's coming not from the Kali Yuga, but coming from the prior age before the Kali Yuga, in preparation for us to have something to protect us as we descended into the Kali Yuga. Because again, here we are. We're about ready to get out of the Kali Yuga's grasp, even though we're technically into a para. They're still, doing their thing, and it is always darkest right before the dawn, and that's that period that we're in right now. So, again, the mantra playlist on Heart's Home, and there's shorts as well, just to give you reference point to go over and over and over. And then you can take those, plug it into YouTube or wherever, and find other people's mantras if you prefer. There's some very well done musical ones out there that are really nice to listen to, and you'll find that after you're listening to them for a while, you're just in a better mood, and your frequency is higher and clearer.
I know. I mean, looking at what the controllers are doing in Spain and what they've done in North Carolina, it is truly. I mean, there was people who were very much prepared, and some people who were not. But still, you can never go wrong with having a strong spiritual practice go-to.
Yeah, and I just wanted to touch on this one thing. Just realize when you are doing these mantras, you're aligning yourself with what we call the Devic Kingdom. So you're aligning yourself with all the allies that are right here around us, because all of nature is something that's in harmony with the natural order of things and the mother's energy. So by doing these mantras, we're aligning. And we're also aligning with the elemental forces that literally are in the clouds. And so, why does lightning strike in a certain place? Why does a tree fall down and miss your house but takes out the neighbors? Because there's many other consciousnesses in play. And when you do things like these mantras, you are actually sending out a signal to all these forces that, we're with you and we need your help. And you'll be answered. You will be answered.
As the birds go off in the background. So hopefully this helps some people get some direction and some footing. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.